Just a quick video on RC aircraft just to get started, just to give you some idea of what is really required before you kick off. One of the most important things is when you go to fly RC aircraft is you get into a club somewhere. They will have the right insurance companies, they will have members there that will be able to help to learn to teach you how to fly and show you all the points about our RC aircraft that could end up in you crashing it. And the last thing you want to do is crash the thing, although you will crash one from time to time. But with the correct tuition and the right teacher, that'll be minimum, so minimum loss. Apart from that, there's the type of aircraft that you would fly. The beginner is normally a trainer aircraft, such as this one here. I'll see if I can. Such as this boomerang here. This is one that was brought by a friend of mine. It had been stuck in a garage somewhere for ages. It's never flown, but that's the type of trainer aircraft. It has this particular one has a glow plug engine in it, runs on methanol fuel. That's a 46 size, and it's a good quality engine, that one. It's a 46 OS engine. It will last for many years if you look after it, and easy to start, nothing to maintain. You start it, you run it, you take it home, put some after run oil in it after you've finished, and as long as you've got the correct fuel in it, it'll start quite easily every time you go out to the field. That's the engine. The radio gear in this particular one, the radio gear in any particular aircraft can be as simple or as sophisticated as you want, but when you're learning how to fly, the initial radio wants to be something that's fairly simple and straightforward. You don't want something that's complex and you're going to forget to set certain switches in certain positions or what have you. This is a fairly sophisticated radio. This is a Taranis radio. More knobs and belts and whistles and software changes that you can poke a stick at. It's 2.4 gig, which you don't have to worry about when you go to the field. You don't have to worry about like in the old days where you had to have a 2-inch key that fitted into a board for your particular frequency. These match up with, you bind these to the receiver. In this case, the receiver that came with this one was an 8-channel receiver with a couple of antennas, and you bind it with that, and you go out, and after it's bound the first time, usually pretty right. All you need to do is turn it back on again. It'll go, and no other radio will interfere with it. Now, the old days they used to have the old 36 meg, which is like this one here. This radio here. Now that's a brand new radio. It's never been used, and it's quite fine. It's okay. You could use that if you wanted to, but you have to, as I said, you have to go. And in the old days, you used to have to get the radio checked every 12 months so that it was within a certain bandwidth. And then you would take that key, in most cases a 2-inch key, and you would put it in the board that matched whatever frequency was on the crystal on the back there, so that you didn't interfere with the next guy. And then if he wanted to fly and he was on the same channel, he'd go to the board and he'd see the key in there. He can't fly until you're finished. So when you take your key out, he can put his key in and he can fly. If you're flying away from a designated field, this radio probably still okay. There's nothing wrong with them. Just if you're flying at the club, you need to maintain safety. Now there is another radio I'll show you. This one here, this is a normal old FlySky FSI 6 radio. It's got a few bells and whistles too. It's got software that can be upgraded. It's a 6-channel radio. You can, with a slight modification, you can change them into a 10-channel radio. These buttons and switches you can program to do whatever you require to do. It takes a little bit of playing around to be able to get accustomed to how they work, but a fairly good, straight, basic radio to begin with. There's no need to go out and buy the latest and greatest radio with all the bells and whistles. These will fly and teach you how to fly. No worries. They got good range. There's some people that have tested these things, and they've got up to 2 or 3 kilometres with the thing. Out to sea, but no obstruction. But yeah, no worries. It would be way out. You wouldn't see the aircraft anymore. But anyway, that's that. Now, in the aircraft itself, there's a variety of servos and batteries and things that you have to maintain and things to check. These things they teach you when you do your training, your flight training. If the instructor is a good instructor, they will show you how to check your radio, how to check your aircraft before you fly, how to do your range checks, which is very important in the beginning of each flying session. Like, not 10 times a day, but the initial flight of the day, you do a range check to make sure your radio is working okay. And then you keep an eye, you may want to keep an eye on battery levels and things like that with various meters that you can put in the aircraft. And they can also be sent, that information can be sent back to the transmitter and bring up a warning on the transmitter. Even these little radios here have that telemetry ability where the receiver sends back the battery information from the receiver battery, and displays it on the thing here. And it will come up as an alarm if your receiver battery in your aircraft is getting low. It's a good point. Okay, that's about it.